you guys, you can't defend, like you can't defend yourself. You don't have evidence. You don't know where Jesus is. You don't know where God is. You don't know where Satan is. But you just chose. I believe everyone now can come up with their own perception of God.
Hi guys, welcome to Kenganda. My name is Janita Maya and this is the Repart Podcast. Now, unfortunately, Maintain is out there still celebrating his birthday. So we have a new guest here with us. Please introduce yourself.
Thanks for having me. My name is Outer Brian, our content creator.
Yeah.
And I'm happy to be here at the podcast with Team Kenganda.
Yeah. It's like you're giving a speech at a wedding.
That's that drink is starting to kick in. Yeah.
Okay, O'Shea, introduce yourself.
O'Shea Duke Jackson back at it again with another episode of the Repart Podcast, African American living in Kampala. And I'm sipping on this Captain Morgan.
Thanks. Shout out to Agava.
Yeah, UBL. Free advertising for y'all. So let's go.
Just to give a brief for people who don't know Outer, we've worked with him on Struggled, right?
Yes.
He's a TikToker.
Yes. For those of you who remember Kim the Comic, Outer Brian replaced Kim the Comic, rest in peace, for our Strugglewood episodes. You might have seen him on the Pan-African Dating Show. Funny guy.
Okay.
What else you gonna say?
That's it.
Yeah. So let me the reason why I had to bribe him to come over here, right?
Yeah.
Outer Brian, if you know what, Uganda is a very religious country. If you're not Christian, you're Muslim. Mm-hmm. Very few people, and I don't want to claim him as he's drinking the stuff. He about to build it up as atheists. But let me just do this. I'm not gonna call him an atheist, but I wanted you to see the kind of clips that Outer Brian posts about religion in Africa right now, and then we'll come back.
All right.
I can't accept that. Can it happen?
What's happening in the church nowadays, especially African churches?
Well,
now here, as you can see, pastors are more interested in mobile money than preaching what is in the Bible. Jesus himself is taking long to come back, so I don't know who's going to save us. I mainly sympathize with the lost sheep who are going to pull out their phones and send their last remaining mobile money balance. Most of them don't have what to eat, but they're there making transactions on MTN and Air. Just the sending charges plus the taxes that is imposed by the government, that alone can buy a plate of food. But on the other hand, I think I should also become a pastor because I'm seeing it's a profitable business, especially in Africa. I should set up a church. You guys come and send me mobile money. This very money that you'll be sending me will be used to build the temple of Christ. So there's no need really to worry.
I can't accept that.
You see that man on the floor?
Yes.
That man has been dead for 3 days. 3 days. He has not been having life.
Okay.
But today I'm going to show you the power of the Holy Spirit. I'm going to rise him from the dead. Sham kana kasamadharma kumlamana. Sham kanu kwalwana wasamana shaku now down. Sikuwan sumbata mana. I command you to rise from the dead. Yeah, you better keep that mouth open. Rise. Now go to the kitchen and tell them to give you some food.
A few moments later.
All right, so you've seen that, right? Outer Brian, what is the problem with Ugandan pastors or African pastors in the continent of Africa, specifically in Uganda, that you hate so much?
Okay, I wouldn't want to blame Ugandan pastors specifically.
Okay.
Because I think it's a general problem.
It's okay.
But if you want to talk about Uganda,
yes,
I have one problem with these pastors.
What is that?
One problem.
What is that problem?
One of them is these pastors are always talking about religion. I don't know where they got it from.
yes.
What do you mean?
But first of all, these pastors, I don't think even they have a clear understanding, like the background of, you see me, where I'm coming from, first
Right.
of all.
Yes.
I don't look at just the pastor. I look at from behind, like where does all this come from?
Okay.
Yeah. So when I look at it that way, I realize that most of these pastors are just pastors for the sake of being pastors. You get? Mm-hmm. Yeah, but in actual sense, they are not aware of the background, this whole religion and all this, like where it started from.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I believe when you get to know the whole background, that's when you get a clear understanding of all this religion. And yeah,
Can you explain what you mean by background?
religion itself, the background, where it came from. First of all, who of you knows the history behind all this religion and all this?
I don't know.
Well, just for the Ugandans, because like we're colonized and whatnot, the colonizers, the missionaries, sorry,
Yes.
came over and they introduced the religion
Yeah,
to the people. And that's how it started for Ugandans. That's how they got to know of that religion.
for Ugandans.
For Ugandans, yeah.
Do you mean like Christianity?
Yeah, like
Because the
missionaries.
Ugandans had religions before
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
in many different places. They had different gods, probably. I don't know which ones they were.
Yeah, they did have so many gods, especially the Uganda.
Okay, maybe you can focus on Christianity.
Don't get her. They focus on Christianity.
Yeah. So you are aware that this Christianity was imposed on us, right?
Right. Yes.
No, you first agree.
Convince me, because
It
I'm
was
not just going
imposed on
to agree
us.
with you.
Before, what were we doing before this whole religion came through? What were we up to?
We were probably praising some small god
And
somewhere.
we were surviving normally, right?
Were we?
Yes. Everything was normal. Before the white man came and imposed on us this religion. So I'm wondering, why do we, in the first place, why do we have to adapt to what the white man has brought to us? Like, why couldn't we
Stay
stick
the
to
way
our
we were.
old, because after all, we were living normally. Without Jesus, without God, we were living normally.
I can't accept that. Can it happen?
I can
I
see him
don't
right
know
now
if it's a good
commenting in this.
You know,
It's just something simple. I don't know.
oh, we should just accept it. So, have you grown up in like a Christian-based family or something like that?
By the way, I've been a religious man for a while.
What changed?
I have been a religious man since I was a kid. We used to go to church every Sunday. Like throughout. Later on, I don't know what happened,
What happened?
but I started to realize this is all comedy at the end of the day.
Oh my God.
No,
Brian, you
seriously.
can't say that.
No, like seriously.
Let him talk. Let him talk.
This wasn't making sense. I came to, of course, through TikTok, I get to hear other people's opinions, and eventually they end up influencing you.
Yes.
Yeah, you hear something from someone and you try to relate and think and realize that doesn't make sense. So I
Right.
kept saying those videos. Then I realized, I'm like, oh, wait. So it's not making any sense.
Right.
Yeah, religion doesn't make any sense. You guys come up from nowhere. Remember, I wouldn't want to talk about those Western. Here in Africa, we were living normally. The white man came and he said, you people, what you're worshipping, what you believe in is false.
Right.
What you're going to start worshipping is this white God, white Jesus. And then we adapt. So when you try to tell an African to stop worshipping that white God, white Jesus, they just get angry.
Come on, preach, brother. Preach, brother.
Because they're also in shock. Like they cannot believe. Most of them, I understand where that frustration comes from. Because even if it were me, I would first be in shock. I'd be like, no, this can't be happening. Yeah. But it's, at the end of the day, it is what it is. These guys imposed on us a white God, a white Jesus, and we adapted it, and we are now stuck to it to an extent that if you try to tell someone what you're doing is wrong, they'll get angry.
Let me ask you a question, because like I grew up with my grandmother, you know, in her wall is still the white Jesus and white angels there. She's like almost 90, right? My mom's generation, there was somewhat of a blackenization of what we call in the 70s and 80s. You know, the Black Power movement, where then you started seeing all these photos and depictions of the black Jesus. But let me just ask you this. Do you think that even if you blackenize, because there's some theories that Jesus was actually black, not Caucasian.
Okay.
But do you still think that it's still, even if it was depicted as a black Jesus, would religion still be comedy, in your opinion?
If Jesus was black, if that portrayed man was black, I would have some benefit of doubt. I would start to believe. But trust me, nothing comes good from a white man. As in terms of these, remember, these are the same people. Remember slavery. You know, Africans went through slavery.
Yes.
I don't know how many years, but there were hundreds of years of slavery, like suffering. This white God of yours, or Jesus, if at all he was there the first thing he would have done was to rescue us from that slavery. But he was nowhere to be seen. We suffered for hundreds of years. These guys took everything. They stole our minerals. They stole our everything. They took our land. What they gave us in exchange was a Bible. This Bible, obviously written by fellow man, because God himself didn't write the Bible. This Bible, I don't know where it came from. Of course, it was written by a fellow man, and he gave it to us, and that was like a way of keeping us calm. Like we shouldn't fight back. It was a way of keeping, like, to regulate us. So they had to give us this Bible. Yeah. So that's the whole. This is just basic. I expect a normal person like to have this basic understanding.
Interpretation.
He's really dealing with you right now.
But I want to
just
deal
basic,
with him too, because I understand where you're coming from, and I know slavery is a touchy subject for most people.
Yeah.
But when it rains on the just and the unjust sometimes.
Yes.
And in the Bible, there's so many stories of people went through something for years and years. Not to justify slavery. Please do not come for me. Not to justify slavery, but I'm just trying to see it from that point of view that sometimes God lets some things happen.
What?
So that it's like, okay, yeah, that's wrong. Guys.
No. Let me just say this, because if you're talking about slavery, as far as in the Bible, the Jews in Israel was enslaved, and it's in the scriptures. It's in the scriptures. We're not talking about anybody else, but it happened there in the scriptures. How many years were they in bondage? Like 400 years. Yeah, so it's there in the book. Leaving anybody else out, us or whatever, it's there in the Bible.
Okay.
Yeah, but let me ask you this: like, let's transform that from, okay, what you're saying from religion being false to what is the impact? Because you show these great clips. Like, what's the one with the generator? Hold on, we're gonna play. Keith, play the clip of the African generator pastor.
Banana. This is my first time to see a human generator. Does this guy know he's a generator? The funny thing is that these things can only be found in an African church. What is the man doing in church? Yet he could be saving lives of millions of Ugandans out here. The noise alone that he's making can generate 3,600 megawatts of electricity. This electricity generated has a capacity of lighting up the whole of northern Uganda. So instead of making unnecessary noise for people in the church, why don't you leave and then you come and join the government payroll? We shall also include you in the country's sustainable development goals. Immediately we deploy you, we expect you to generate 3,600 megawatts, the same way you're generating them in that church for free. No.
So you've seen that, right?
Yeah, sure.
What is the impact of African pastors after they have digested this religion and Christianity? Because, I mean, I've seen Christianity used in some aspects for, and I'm not trying to offend anybody, but I've seen hospitals built in the name of Christianity.
Yeah.
I've seen schools built in the name of Christianity.
Yes.
I went to Catholic school. I went to a local church. I think if my church wasn't there, I would be a completely different person than I am today. Me personally. So I've seen some benefits. But now, what are the pastors in Africa doing in the name of Christianity that you feel that offers any benefit to the society, especially here in Uganda?
Okay.
Because you're one of the biggest critics in the country.
Sure.
Or if not the only big critic in the country, with the platform is it?
We are woke. We are awake. We are not sheep. So, first of all,
yes, sir.
Christianity. Now, for example, that pastor you've seen, that generator pastor. Now, that one, the best I can say that is like he's now possessed, because Christianity, once you enter it deep, that's how you end up turning into these born agains. You end up, there's a way now it messes your brain. Your head is full of imaginations. Like you think now you've elevated. Kumbe you're normal. So now like that pastor, he's now possessed. Because trust me, he doesn't understand what he's doing. He's just But when we talk about benefits, what I like from Christianity and this whole religious thing. Okay, the benefits it has helped. What I like from it does help to keep us in order. Does helped. That stop people from running mad to an extent. Because if it wasn't for Christianity, there would be Christianity. You realize Christianity brought hell. So actually, most Christians subscribe to Christianity because of one thing: they fear going to hell. So this white man was like, if you mess around, you go to hell and you'll burn for eternity. So that has helped us to keep in order. Like, you want to do something, remember, Satan is watching me. He's going to what? He's going to punish me if I do something bad. So I have to ensure I do good, so that I can get the benefits of what? Maybe I'll go to heaven. You get. So I feel it has kept us like in order. Yeah, that's prevented us from going crazy. So that's beneficial about it.
That's the one beneficial. But what are the things that because you're a big critic, man. Like I even watch, like I think you've even lost maybe a lot of support.
Yeah, sure.
Because other comedians in Uganda do not talk about.
Yeah, they're scared. Not everyone can speak on that topic.
Yes, but you're very talented. I mean, you wouldn't mind, shout out to Sessabat. I like him, even though I don't understand. Most of your stuff is he's from the central, so a lot of stuff is in Uganda. It's mixture.
Yeah, sure.
But I love Sessabat. From what I can gather from what he's saying.
Yeah, sure.
But yours is mostly in English.
Yeah, in English. I can't even speak Luganda most of the time. Most of these guys are.
Yeah.
But what I'm trying to say.
Yes.
This topic is quite sensitive. Even right now, you get people are just waking up. This in the world that we're living today, people are just waking up.
Okay.
We have been sheep for a long time. So majority, of course, it is understandable when people look at you as crazy and what? Because the majority are still sheep. So the 99 sheep, the 99% sheep will always have to look at the 1%. That's crazy. Because they cannot comprehend that. But soon, the 1%, the percentage is going to keep increasing because slowly by slowly, people are waking up. That's why you see today as we speak, people are running away from the church. Back in the day,
is that a good thing?
Yes, back in the day, people used to go to church. Even me, I used to go. But now, people are running out. They are realizing that this shit was a scam, like from the start.
You know what? I understand your whole thing of people running away from the church, but when you pray, you're not praying the people in the church. You're praying to God. So if you keep saying, "Oh, I'm running away from church because of the people," then
no, what I'm trying to say,
it's wrong.
People are leaving the church. I don't know when you last went to church.
What do you mean? Last Sunday.
But okay.
Yeah.
You are among the few who are still going there. People used to go to church. Now they are starting to say, "Okay, now I think it's better we pray from home."
Online,
since God,
you can still pray online.
Exactly. So now they are stepping back. People who used to go to church every day started going on Sundays only. Now they've also started disappearing on Sundays, saying they can pray from home. They are now abandoning their pastors. They are now saying, "I can pray for myself." Let me talk. You get people now on that stage of "I can pray for myself." They're also going to leave that stage and realize that, oh, let me come back to my senses.
Oh, okay. So it's a development, right?
So in the nearby future, people who once went to the church, people who say they are now praying from home, eventually will even stop praying. Like they'll get back to their senses.
So Brian, I wanted to ask, what's your ideal world without people going to church? What's the ideal world that you want everyone to wake up to?
Like I told you, I don't believe in your white God and white Jesus somewhere up there. I believe because I've seen a lot of videos. I've done my own research, and what I concluded is God himself is within us.
Amen.
Yeah, I am God. You are God. Together, we are God. So, from the research I've done, when you actually, I'm not religious, but I'm spiritual. You know, there's a difference. Yeah. So when we vibrate at a higher frequency, then we are God. When you vibrate at a lower frequency, then that is Satanism. Okay. Everything is within us. There's nothing like imaginary white man sitting in the sky or something. So, what was your question?
What's the ideal world? Like,
so I believe in a world. Obviously, I don't condone. I believe in positivity and doing what is right. I believe in us living life in a righteous way and doing what you're supposed to do, fulfilling our purpose and accomplishments before we leave. And I also believe we have one life to live. So we must make good use of it. Yeah.
Can I ask you another question? All over, I think the let's say the Pan-African world. I mean, I've just now getting my foot wet in Africa. I have a lot to learn, obviously, right, about Africa. But in the African American community, we have a big deal with tithes and offering, and pastors abusing members' tithes and offering. And I think there's a big difference between what I see in America. Like, for example, in our churches, pastors are employees of the church institution, most of them. But now I think that you guys have here, like in Uganda, a faction of churches that are rising called born again churches, where now the pastor owns the church.
Okay.
And the tithes and offerings go to, he's asking for the money and the people are giving the money. But then I think there was one pastor here, I think that the church was in like, he had a tent and the churches were, they were coming to church and they were in the mud, but the pastor just built a new house somewhere.
Yeah, I've seen that.
I think in the western part of the country. I don't know who the guy was. So now these tithes and offering that the pastors are asking for or begging for are these prophets here. How do you feel about the abuse of tithes and offering that poor people or any kind of people are given towards these pastors in Africa? In particular, let's say, for example, because we're here in Uganda, Nigeria is really big on that also.
Okay.
Ghana. But how has that affected your belief in the system of Christianity or religion as well? Tithes and offerings piece.
See, that's another point that's one of the things that made me run away from this so-called Christianity. Because these pastors, of course, Christianity in general, generates money. Yeah, generates money. And these pastors, usually, more so here in Africa, these pastors are after money. They're after generating money, most of them. You'll see, for example, Sundays when people go to church, they ask, some of them have been seen in broad daylight, asking for money, like telling their followers, bro, we need money. And we don't just need any other money. We need maybe some specific amount. You get? So at the end of the day, the poor, I actually pity them. The sheep have no choice because they have been promised. They have been told, donate what you have right now. When you go to heaven, you're going to get endless riches.
Let me ask you this. I've noticed something here. This is not local to, let's say, Uganda, because Americans have been doing that. Spend $1,000, get your prayer cloths. You have the Word Network. I have a godmother, rest in peace. She died when I was like 21, and she used to watch that shit. She was a female pastor, and my godfather was a female. So they used to watch this, like not like Benny Hinn, but Jimmy Swagger was huge back, televangelist. Me and Rachel were watching Jimmy Swagger in Lagos, Nigeria, right? Shout out to Rachel in the background. So I grew up on seeing guys say like, spend $1,000, get your prayer cloth. So it's not new to just Africa. Okay. But I do see guys here saying, okay, not a prayer cloth, but spend 200,000 kilograms for holy rice. Or 100,000 kilograms of holy rice. When I came one time in 2018, I saw a long line from Entebbe of people paying to get a kilogram or something, a liter of holy water. What do you think? How do you feel about those things?
Okay, maybe there's some, because first of all, what I understand, this tithe is meant to be used to bring development to the church.
Yes.
So I think there are some pastors who are genuinely doing it, but for my case here in Uganda, people have used it as a business. People have turned it into a business. They actually don't use the money to develop the church, but they use it for their own personal gains.
Yes.
That's why you see a pastor has built a mansion, like that pastor you're talking about. I don't know whether I'm allowed to mention his name here. But that pastor has a mansion.
He's filthy rich.
So rich, but when he's acting is comedy. Because this preaching is comedy. When he's acting is comedy, he comes to a holy ground. The holy ground is full of what? Mud.
Yeah.
I think I've seen this picture.
Yeah.
Because it is now time to act. You get. So he has to act. He has to step in the mud with the sheep. The sheep also step in the mud. At the end of the day, when he's going back home, he enters his mansion. He washes off the mud and probably checks into his bags and he counts how much he has. So to me, this is broad day robbery. And I don't know how we should wake people up from this, because majority of people are sheep, but they don't. The worst part of it is they don't want to admit that they're sheep. They think they're doing something that is right. Unfortunately,
I want to just, before I get to Brother John, like what I've noticed here is like in Uganda, we did an episode here on the King Ghana podcast. Shout out to Maintain.
Yeah.
And I titled the episode, but it gave me the idea. It was called "There's No Hope in Africa." And so one of the things I've noticed is that because there's no hope in many parts of sub-Saharan Africa, and I love Uganda, so I'm here, there is a market for hope. And because Africa, I think in general, we can be a little bit more, I would say, as blacks in Haiti, African Americans, black people, because of the African descent, we are less superstitious than other groups.
Yeah.
So we believe more or less in like in like even in America, we have that sect of people that believe in African voodoo, because we come from that. Like it's in our culture, especially in like the Creole South and Louisiana, South Carolina. That stuff is real, right? We believe in it. So we also believe that God somehow, if you pray for him, he will give you a miracle. We digest religion differently than whites and Arabs.
Okay.
Whites and Arabs believe that God give you, for the most part, the ability to write your own destiny.
Okay.
And that's why America is so great. If you look at America, America is one of the greatest countries in the world that is largely Christian. But the Christian interpretation of America is God gives you the ability to do what you would like to do.
Okay.
So in America's interpretation is God give me the strength. So if you listen to the average American, for example, the average American example's prayer would be, for the most part, not to say that it doesn't happen, God give me the strength to do X, Y, and Z. To be honest, that's my prayer here in Uganda. God give me the strength or the patience. I'm a believer in God to manifest these things that I believe you called me to accomplish here. Right? Okay. That's one thing. But when I hear the average African talk about religion, it's God give me a miracle. God take me from X, Y, and Z situation.
Okay.
I know that you can do it. I've read the stories in the Bible. I've seen Jesus walk on water. I've seen the guy that stayed there for 12 years or 40 years afflicted, and then, Paul come and say, rise up and walk. Things like that.
Okay.
So the pastors understand that there's a market for that part of the economy where you're looking for what is a miracle. Jesus fed 5,000 with, I think, 2 fishes and 5 loaves of bread, or vice versa, 5 fish, 2 loaves of bread, something like that, right?
Yeah.
So preachers start preaching this particular gospel of, let's say, and you're seeing it now, word of faith, which is very popular, which is God is wanting you. You see pastors preaching economics. God's going to give you X, Y, and Z if you hope. God can give you prosperity, the prosperity gospel, rather, right? And so that's becoming more and more popular. But at the same time that you see this prosperity gospel becoming more popular, you're seeing the audience becoming more poor and the pastor becoming more prosperous, right?
That is obvious.
Yeah, and so I think that what you're seeing now, like there's one guy, I like the guy, right? But he's like trying to become a pastor. So he has this picture on his profile picture of him like praying for this woman, and the woman is like laid down on the ground, and she's like, she fell out somehow.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that those powers can be real or not be real. My dad, he's just like very similar to me. And he's told me stories of situations where somebody prayed and he fell down. So I don't have any reason to believe to disbelieve what he's talking about, because he's not a liar for the most part. But my question is, after this person is fallen down, are they still poor?
Of course.
Okay, that is obvious.
Yes.
I don't even know.
Do they still have the same bad habits?
I'm telling you, when you understand that you're in a comedy store, then you realize that nothing happens. It's just comedy.
Yes.
Yeah, people get electrified. I don't know how, but it happens.
No, I think it's mental. I remember we were at high school. Let me just give you a short story. We're in high school, and then these guys, born again Christians, came, and then they were just praying, and then a bunch of us fell, and we didn't just fall because we wanted. I don't know. There was something.
You fell
there.
too.
I felt too.
You felt it?
Did anybody catch you?
No, I felt that.
What happened to the like? Did your hair get messed up? Like boom! You made like a sound effect when you fell.
No, we
like,
just felt. No, because the man kept talking into the mic, talking to my. There's just something that you feel, and then it overwhelms you.
Exactly.
And then you feel.
and you got in pretty
pushed
like.
to fail. Yeah.
Exactly.
That's you got in pressure.
Yeah.
Generator.
You hear That's the people shouting, right?
Yeah,
that's
that's
the
how
response.
they do it. That's actually how they do it.
I was scared when I first heard it. I was like, what the fuck is that?
But you see, when you're in an environment like that, it gets overwhelmed, and then you're like, maybe I just
Exactly.
need to drop, and you drop.
You drop.
I
So
can-
if I want to do some more work,
But I think I also have an issue with pastors who like make money off other people's backs, because they're just saying, "Oh, give me money for this," and then the churches that have sections. A section for the rich people, a section for the poor people,
Yeah.
a section for the middle class, and then like they tithe differently and all that. But like I don't like that aspect of the church. I think it's wrong for them to do that. But then I feel like most Ugandans, it's either desperation and they're also sheep,
They
like you
need to
mentioned.
make money. It's all
Because I
about
remember
money.
there's a time we were downtown with Rachel, and then there's a man who was praying, and then he had holy water. So you'd put money there and then do the holy oil and then put it on your head. But in my head, I'm like, what is that going to do for you?
right?
Like, what is it going to help you with?
It's all about the money. Christianity generates money. People have to survive. That's where they eat from. So I wouldn't get shocked when I see you guys acting in the cinema. Now, like you decided to fall down. I don't know what
I
pushed.
did decide.
I don't know what pushed you
There's
down.
something that
What pushed-
overwhelms you.
I need to
What's that?
overwhelm you
what
to do
is
some more
that?
A
work.
certain power.
You see, we need to investigate that. then.
Yes, because I can get y'all to do more work.
Because
All of y'all.
if it's a certain power, then that one we need to investigate for further.
But
Yes.
it's real,
But-
guys.
I talk to
Some
girls in the
people
club.
Some people pretend to fall, but for some people, it's real.
No, I
So
believe
what
it's
is
real.
that then? Because now, like me, who doesn't believe in Christianity, I don't believe in Satan, Jesus, and all that. Then we need to investigate. So what is that? That is
We need you to
what
go
is
to
that
church
force?
and then see if you can fall too.
I've been to church, but unfortunately, I didn't learn on those actors, those movie actors who push you and you fall.
Oh,
but
that's the
I would
thing you
love
point
to.
out. Sorry, I was going to say, you point out the actors that fall down for the race. Like
Yeah.
this guy, people are like pretending they're actors, like oh, I can walk again. I used to, you see what I'm saying? That kind of stuff.
Have you noticed for the funny part? That is known. That is in Africa. I've never seen a white church whereby a pastor does this and people fall.
No, it happens all the time.
There's a documentary
Benny
on
Hinn.
Netflix where
What?
it happened.
Yeah, man.
I've never
Benny
seen.
Hinn.
Maybe I'm yet to see.
They have live snakes in the church, like rattlesnakes. They bite you and stuff. All kind of crazy stuff.
Okay.
And there's a certain
Okay, but
story
it's more common here in
about
Africa.
snakes in Uganda.
It started in America, and it's now more common here in Africa.
Yeah, more, you guys are abandoning it. It's now here.
No,
Now
I think
taken
it's
over.
still there.
But
It's
trust
all
me, they are not,
everybody's doing it.
we are better actors than you guys. That's one thing I'm sure.
I think so for sure.
So,
Well, when you're desperate and you need money.
first of all, before we move forward, like I said, we need to investigate that force. If she says she felt a force, maybe I need to do some research and understand where that force comes from. But before we move forward, you are a believer, right?
I am 100%.
So, you believe in God.
I do.
What is your perception of God? Like, where is God?
I believe he's everywhere. He
Well,
could,
yeah.
he could be here listening to you.
Oshay, where is your God that you believe in? Where is he?
Same thing as her. He's not up there.
He's
Wait,
everywhere.
so they started, because we all grew up when they were telling us God was up and Satan was down.
Mm-hmm.
Do you believe Satan also exists?
Yes.
Where is he?
I don't know.
Where
Everywhere.
is he?
I don't want to
You
know.
see-
Many places.
You see, that is the whole point. Confusion.
Oh, God.
You people just woke up and decide to believe in a God. So meaning, I can also wake up and say, maybe that I worship the sun and that's my God. You get? I believe, okay, everyone has come up. I believe everyone now can come up with their own perception of God.
Yes.
Yeah. Because you guys you can't defend, like you can't defend yourself. You don't have evidence. You don't know where Jesus is. You don't know where God is. You don't know where Satan is. But you just chose to believe that is what? A God.
Well, let me ask you this. Where's oxygen?
Eh?
Where's oxygen?
What is oxygen?
Where is
Do you believe that
oxygen?
oxygen exists?
Let me first breathe. Yeah.
Where is it at?
No, but I'm breathing.
Well, where is it at?
I am breathing, so it is there.
So it is there.
Yes.
So because it is there,
Can you feel wind?
yes,
I believe that is oxygen.
it is there.
What you mean?
But do you believe in humidity, in rain? Because you can see it.
Rain.
How does it happen?
You want me to explain?
Do you believe in electricity? Because let me tell you this: 100 years ago, could you believe in planes?
No, I wouldn't.
Why?
Probably because of technology. By then.
But you wouldn't believe that it exists.
Yeah.
So you only believe what you can see. There are many things that are happening right now that are happening where we can't explain that exist.
Like
it
I
doesn't
said-
mean it doesn't exist.
Like I said, God exists, but not the perception that you guys have about it.
No, let me say this. So as far as God being in the heaven or devil being down there, I don't know what scripture says that. I've never read it. But that is just like, for example,
That's what we're told as kids.
yeah.
we're told
So
as
so
a kid.
let me just say this: like, there's a scripture. There's some belief that Satan got kicked out of heaven in whatever. Right? You hear stories about the Bible. The devil is a red devil with a tail. Those are perceptions, right?
Okay.
The devil has a certain look, or Satan has a certain look. Yeah. So I will say this: my belief in God, or my association with, let's say, Christianity, doesn't mean that God is not in African religions, or that Africans. I'm one of the people that believe, like, and this is very, and Jonita went to Uganda Martyrs University. Listen, I believe that same God that has an effect on maybe some of the morality in Christianity was in effect with Mutesa the First, or whoever, like I said, I believe that African religions are also real and are also made by God. I believe his understanding is greater than what we can perceive. So just because I don't understand it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. There are a lot of things. I went to medical school that we're now finding out medical knowledge every day about how something happens
Yeah, sure.
that was already there, that existed, that we just don't understand. So just because it is not explainable at the time doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Look at Chat GPT.
I understand.
Yeah.
So you've decided to believe for the meantime, as you find out whether he exists or not, you decided to. Yeah, that is now what I'm saying. For the meantime, he exists, though we are yet to what? To find out. Okay. Another question I wanted to ask. You decide to believe in God. What evidence do you have of? As in, have you ever encountered? Do you have any evidence of what that God has ever done?
Yes. What do you mean? Your living
That's what I
life
want.
is a testament of God's grace.
No, I want something serious, by the way, because now when you talk of living life, that one, that I was born, so I have to live. I don't know.
Let me just give you an example. I'm not the biggest religious debater,
Okay.
but I went to medical school.
Okay.
Medical school is organized by PhD scientists.
Okay.
Medicine in itself. The first year you study biochemistry, you study anatomy, you study physiology. So these people write these things for you. Okay? So now people will say, well, these are sciences, like the way the arteries carry blood to the heart and veins carry blood away from the heart. And the way that the body is designed, the way that the world is designed, the way that there's rains in certain parts of the year. And this is not just like, I think that this is proof, but as a postulate, this is what I'm talking about.
Okay.
There is no way that these things happen in the world today that we see that happen as something that's random. Because think about this. This is what I want to say. We die, let me just say this real quick, right? You've been to Kampala traffic. That's random.
Okay.
Kampala roads is random. That's by humanity design of random. It's not an order. But the cycle of life of all things created happen in what? In order. And order comes from something that is established that is there. It can only, because look at Kampala. Like for yesterday, I'm on the way to the boat, right? It's a true story. Story time music, Enoch. I'm on the boat, right? I'm going to meet Pam from Not Last Connection. This, I want to call him something. This brother on the boat damn near breaks my elbow. Because you see Kampala roads, right? There's no ordering. KTCA, NTV has a episode where and we do the episode on that, where Kampala roads need I think the amount was $1.4 trillion every year to repair. So shouts to Kampala, but I've seen a city in disorder, right?
Okay, so of course.
So this boater guy comes and Ogum has me, and the guy almost breaks my olecranon. This part
elbow.
of the right, elbow. So that's out of order. But when we see the cycle of life, no matter how many times people try to alter it, civil wars and things like that, people are replenishing. Animals are replenishing. Things are happening. And it's happening in order despite whatever human intervention is occurring at the time. Which means that it has to be, we've seen what humans are stupid. Humans don't have the possibility to do things the right way. We've seen it all over the world. You can't get it right. But no matter how dumb these humans or smart these humans are, something happens where we keep going to the next generation. Because left up to humans alone, they're too stupid to fuck it up. They will do it. We've seen it all over the world. That is why I believe that whatever you want to call this individual, there is divine order for how everything is happening. Mm-hmm. That's my particular assessment.
Yeah.
One thing I have with you, Christians. Oh. Okay, believers. Sorry.
Yeah.
You guys are
I'm
good
gonna
at.
after this.
You guys are good at. If the road to a point if it's a straight road, and you're supposed to get to that point. You guys are fond of jumping fast. If the road is there, tarmac, you want to first enter the bush, then you come back on the road, then again you enter the bush, yet you're supposed to go straight. I've asked you a question. Do you have evidence of God's existence? Okay, I have been hearing you've explained, but trust me, I lost even track during the explanation.
Oh God.
That's the Captain Morgans.
But me, I'm a person who loves a straight answer.
So the straight answer is, look at the order of the world, how it works.
Evidence do you have?
You know what?
Let's say God did this, and I'd be like, okay.
Let me say this. You want to
answer straight to the point.
God sent me to Uganda.
God sent you to Uganda.
Amen.
Yes.
Amen,
I believe that.
guys.
And because of that, I was able to give your black ass some money to come on the podcast today.
I believe that too.
God did not send you to Uganda. Now let me tell you.
How did he come?
I don't know how you came to Uganda because I wasn't with you. Mm-hmm. But whatever made you leave where you're from and come to Uganda, that was up to maybe the circumstance or your thoughts about the same reason as to why I left. For example, why I left my place to come here, I got a communication from you. Otherwise, I wouldn't have come. You get? It was a situation. Mugamba, I came here because of a situation. A Christian would say, God sent me to go to Bukoto to come and meet Oshe. Maybe because you're going to be on a podcast and get some money. But me, I won't say it is good.
You know what? Let me give you.
Wait. Let me ask one thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this.
It is me, like.
Let me ask you this.
Situations.
Let me ask you a question. How many atheist friends do you have?
Atheist friends. They are quite.
Don't
few.
believe in God.
They are quite few, because some of them are just getting to learn. They are actually very few. Like I said, the majority are sheep.
Sheep. So somebody says in the atheist community, Ada Brian, this person told me to give you $50. Would you deny who the person told you? Would you ask?
Yes, I would first ask, of course.
But you would take it though, right?
Why not? But I wouldn't say it is God who has given me. No.
But if that person says that he believes that was the inspiration for him to be there, even if the person is not perfect, would you take that? And based on how that person in your relationship has developed, would you believe that? Based on how the person has treated you?
Nah.
You can't believe it, but you believe the results, don't you? Because your problem is results. That's your whole argument, that the Christianity doesn't produce results.
You guys don't have evidence.
Hold on, the evidence is here.
I'm going to give you
Listen,
evidence.
hold on. The evidence
I
is
can't
here.
wait to hear from Joan.
Wait a
Because this
minute.
man is taking me through laps.
No, not lapse. So now, because of our relationship and what I'm telling you, and you know me personally, I've never lied to you. Do you believe that my inspiration for what I'm saying is false based on you knowing me?
I couldn't say it's false. But
You
that
couldn't say it's
is
false.
you. That is you.
So it's my personal experience. But what I'm saying is this. I've never asked you to change your opinion or position.
Yeah.
I respected it.
Yes.
But would you say that because of my own personal interpretation of whatever happened and me being logical, going after Ugandan pastors even more than you on WhatsApp, would you not say that I'm lying after knowing me? We're getting to a breakthrough today with our
He's
brother.
going to take me for Olympics.
You know what I'm saying?
We'll
It's
sleep
a
here.
straightforward question. If I believe that it was because of my intervention to deal with my brother in a way such that it's different than what I would deal with somebody else, because of that inspiration and my interpretation of that, and you have experienced that, could you discount my own personal experience?
No.
Because you know that from dealing with me.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, good. So then, how can you tell me that my experience is incorrect?
Because you don't have evidence. But
You have evidence because you're here.
no, you. Of course, me, I'm at par because I go with you because I understand you. But that is you. There's no extraterrestrial interruption or imagination of
But there's
being
no
involved.
there's no interruption that it does not.
It's just you.
Because you've already said this one thing, right?
Yes, I bet
That you wouldn't have believed. Your thing is this: you only believe on things you can see.
And what I understand.
Because you can see, can you explain oxygen? Explain it from a chemical background.
I'm alive and I'm breathing.
No. But that's not explaining oxygen how it works.
Yeah.
What is the chemical formula for oxygen? Go.
Now you're taking me into
You
details.
don't know.
I don't know.
You can't explain it, but it exists, right?
Yes.
So how can you tell me because you breathe, you understand oxygen? This oxygen on the chemical on the chemical what is it called?
You see, O'Shea.
Yes.
A dead man does not know anything about oxygen. He's gone.
But there are things existing that you can't even explain.
get it?
How does electricity work?
I am
Go.
alive. I know I'm breathing. I need oxygen to breathe.
What about electricity? It exists, right? Explain it. Go. You have no idea what you're talking
The
about.
light is on.
Okay,
please.
so it's on.
Umeme switches
it
off
exists.
and on.
But you
Electricity.
cannot explain it.
You get it?
But you can't explain it.
But
But you're
you-
asking me to explain something that
you
things
don't know.
that you're
Okay.
experiencing right now you cannot explain. When? Where does it come from? Go.
Maybe
Hold on,
I would like to hear from John.
hold on. Do me a favor. Bring me a bottle of water. Hold on, yeah. Come here. I will give you, yes. Right now, explain water.
Explain how it works.
Yeah, you see it. It's there. Explain it. You cannot.
is-
For all the money there, right there, he cannot explain
What
it,
kind of
although he
explanation
sees
do you
it.
want me to give of what?
But now here's the thing. He wants us to explain something to defend where he believes in something he cannot even explain himself within his hand. Go.
What explanation do you want me from
You
water?
see it. So explain it. What is it? What's the chemical formula for it?
Is it
He doesn't even know.
H2O.
Yes, Barrett. So what does that mean?
I'm not a chemist.
Hydrogen.
So what I'm saying is there are things you see you can't even explain.
Yeah.
You see it and can't explain it. Therefore, you're
Okay,
asking us.
at least I've seen.
Okay, so
At least I've seen. Can I see your goat now? Okay, I've seen the water. Can I see your goat?
no. But what I'm saying is this.
I've seen the water.
Now you're saying is you've seen it, but you can't explain it. That doesn't mean that for those that think
Okay,
you
I've
don't
seen
have
it.
seen. Because if you can see it and you can't explain it.
I've seen the water.
You can see it, but you can't explain
But
it.
I swear I can never see your goat. That one is.
Okay, guys. You know what? Let me give you my example of God. I know it's
so my
not,
mind
it's
whenever
not
you take
going
it.
to be. It's not going to be like a good. So there was this woman who lost her child.
When you start stories.
No, no, this is real life. She lost her child. When she lost her child, she was seated. They just given her the news and she was digesting the child. Another woman came and then gave her a book, just like a biblical book.
Okay.
And in that biblical book, the first page she opened, there was a page, and then the name was her daughter's name, the daughter who just died. These things can't be a coincidence. He gave her the woman who gave her the book said, I just felt it in my spirit to give you this book.
So was it
And
like
then when the child was being buried, there was also a rainbow. So it's not at, oh, God came in and saved this child's death. No, it's just the comfort of knowing that God is with you, even in your hard times. Because God is not a genie at it to answer all your requests and whatnot. So to me, that's evidence of God.
Can I have a copy of that CD and I go and watch?
No, it's not a CD. This is
movie,
real life. This is really personal. And it's actually in my life. But it's really personal. But that's how I know.
So why in the first place? Why? What is wrong with your God? Like, why is he hiding?
No,
from you people?
it's not about hiding.
Why are you playing hide
You
and
have
seek
to know that
with your followers?
good things happen and bad things happen too. You have to take comfort in that.
Why? Have you ever had someone who has given their life to
There's a time and
Christ?
season for everything.
Have you ever heard of someone who has given their life to
oxygen
Christ?
is also you believe in it.
Yeah, I mean,
Does it show its face?
no. What do you do when you're
Have you ever met someone who has given
or
themselves to
something?
Christ?
Do you pray or anything? Or you just go through life?
Even if I'm
going
to
against?
pray, nothing will take place. Let me tell you one
God.
thing. Let me tell you one thing. Have you ever met someone who has given their life to Christ?
Yes. We know someone here behind the scenes who
Do
has.
they go through suffering still?
Yes, they do.
Why are they going through suffering yet they have given their life
Because
to
life
Christ?
is not smooth. You must go
Why
through it.
is life not smooth even after you've given your life to Christ? Like, what is the problem now? Like,
Because tribulations happen and Satan sometimes
Why
tries to tempt you to get you to his side.
Why is God letting Satan? I've already given my life to him. Why is he still allowing Satan to come and...
You know there's Job in the Bible. He went through all that because Satan wanted to test him and see if he was really a man of God.
Why is
And God
Satan
let him.
testing me?
No, but
get?
you have to know that it happens and you have to
Why?
take comfort in that with God you're going to get through it. It rains on the just and the unjust. Good things and bad things happen. You can't just have nice things happening in your life.
Even after giving your life to Christ?
No, it can't
my
be like
God.
that. Life can't be that smooth.
I mean, the things the guy sees, he can't even explain.
Yeah, but guys,
But it's okay. But the thing is,
Your God is quite difficult. If he has to...
it's not difficult.
If after I've given my life to him and I'm still suffering, then we have to discuss.
No, but you don't give your life to Christ hoping that things are just going to be smooth.
Ati, why
You give
not?
your life to Christ with the sense that he's going to be with you through your trials and tribulations.
But are you aware that there are people who give their life to Christ and they fail at everything still?
Yes.
yes.
Why?
Because it happens.
And now, what is happening? Like, what
There are
do you
people-
mean by it happens? Like, why is
okay.
it happening?
1 second. Let me say this. You're a person. Let's say, for example, let me break this down to you. You're a content creator, right?
Yeah.
You're one of the most successful content creators in Uganda, right?
Yeah.
So let's say you have a person who doesn't believe in God.
Mm.
They give their lives to content creation. Do they also fail?
What I'm saying, it varies. You may succeed or you may not.
Exactly.
So it also means that just in anything, then people tend to fail at everything. Religion, lack of interpretation of what the religion means or whatever the business means. Look at this. Let's just make it broad. I may want to be a full-time YouTuber, regardless of what my belief is. But if I don't follow what the rules of the religion are or my interpretation of the rules of the business, I'm going to fail.
Okay.
Doesn't matter if I'm a good person or a bad person, right? And you've seen this in the in content creation business. There are a lot of good people that are successful at TikTok or YouTube. They believe in many different things. Some like you don't believe in anything, for example, right? Or you're spiritual. There's some who are big time Christians, but what do? They follow the rules of what?
Okay.
Of the business, of the platform, reinvesting in the, I'm a big person reinvesting in the business, right?
Reinvestment, yeah.
So now that is more, religion is more about habitual behaviors. What you do every day, like praying 5 times a day. It's the same thing with business. We're in a religion for the most part. And you have to upload every day. Like if you want to be on TikTok or YouTube, what do you have to do? You're big on Instagram, you're big on TikTok, you're big on everywhere, right? You have to upload here. You have to record here, right? That's a religion. A religion is about habits of rules for the most part. That's what a religion is. Spiritual is not necessarily about rules, but religion is about habits. I'm praying 5 times a day. I'm fasting. I'm doing certain things to be required to be in this particular, and we do things in the religion of social media consecration. We do things every day to be a part of religion. So I can give my life to something and not actually practice what is needed to be successful in that particular endeavor. It happens even if a person is an atheist YouTuber or a Christian YouTuber. Whoever practices that respective religion to the point will get the most out of it.
Exactly.
Yes. So religion is also not about beliefs, but about what you do.
Guys, I don't know where you're getting my point. Do you know the God that you guys are talking about? This God is not like any other thing, not like any... This is the man who created Satan and threw him here so that he can battle with us. This God we're talking about is a supernatural, like the highest of all highest.
Yes.
I would believe
It's a good point.
that if I am to give my life to this supernatural being, the highest of highest, nothing can mess with me. That is my perception. Nothing, absolutely nothing. Because I'm in the hands of the highest of highest. If you can give your life to this highest of highest and you still face the same problem as somebody who hasn't given their life to the highest, you all face the same problems, same challenges, you all fall sick, you all get accidents, you all have enjoy the good time, like you all the same problems. Then there is no point of me giving my life to this highest. Yet we are all going to experience
Let me ask you a question.
the same world.
Have you, before we're in the podcast,
Yeah, we're
and this
about
is a
to end
controversial
it.
question. Have you lost certain privileges for speaking out against Christians?
Lost some privileges.
Like
Opportunities, maybe.
opportunities?
I can't even tell. Maybe they might have wanted to come through then because they saw one of my videos and they backed out. But personally, like approaching me, none. But I get, of course, people saying, we shall unfollow you because you don't believe in this. We shall unfollow you. Yeah.
Yeah. So then, do you believe? Let's say, for example, because I can say this in the black community in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. This whole entity of the black church was very integral because of that personal belief, whether we did agree with it or not. The person that was a black atheist didn't have the same benefits as the person that was in this organization or this community. They didn't have access to things. You see? So I get what you're saying, but now at the same time, let's say if you're a African Ugandan Catholic, wasn't there like Centenary Bank or there's certain SACCOs here in Uganda? There are certain things you can access that you just cannot access if you're an atheist here. You just don't have access to some of the things that's going on. So I see what you're saying, but there is no, let's say there's no Centenary Bank for Ugandan atheists, is there? I mean, because if there is, we could make that same argument. But there definitely is a benefit, like there's Ugandan Martyrs, Catholic University, which Jonita went to. Where is that Ugandan Atheist University? I mean, if we're going to talk about the benefits and things like that, which there is, if they're saying there's absolutely no benefits, no problems with this, there are Ugandan Catholics who have certain benefits over those who are not Catholics here in this country. We have to admit that, regardless of if you believe it or not. So for those who say, I don't want to believe, then where is the responding community to those who don't believe, and what do they produce? Those who feel like you, if we want to be honest, there's no evidence of what they produce in Uganda. There is evidence of those who believe the other side that produce schools and whatever else. So I'm not saying that you're wrong or right, but we have to look at the things. What is the benefit of even being on the other side like you here?
What is the benefit?
What is the benefit? I'm just saying, because you see, you despite what you've criticized, and I get it, I'm with you on WhatsApp. We roast pastors all day. But the other side, what have they produced? Since they've seen, for example, this doesn't exist, you should be in a state of anarchy. What is the privilege then of not being, since you've pointed out so many things, then if I join up with to say, hey, you're right, then what's next? You don't see it.
For example, if I'm to start up something, let's say if I'm set up a church in the, I mean, not
Anti-churches, I'll be the first member.
No. If I'm set up like
Brian.
a school, like what I'm trying to say is, you can't first of all tell like that school maybe was started by someone who doesn't believe in God or something. Like, first of all, there's no way of measurement. Like, of course, you Christians, when you set up a school, you say, hey, Uganda Matters Christian School or something. So everyone will know that school, it was set up by a Christian. But you might find, let's say, Seta High, it was set up by a non-Christian, but it's called Seta High. And the guy is actually living like normally. So he has contributed. I don't know whether you get the point.
We get it.
Yeah.
Brian, tell the poor they can find you on social media.
Okay, yeah, guys, follow me on social media, TikTok. I use Outer Brand all my pages, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, everywhere.
Yeah.
TikTok. Yeah, that's where you can find me. And I don't usually discuss about these topics, first of all, because they are controversial. I only put them on my TikTok when I feel like I want to wake the ship up, jumpstart them. That's where you can find me. But yeah,
Okay.
That's it, guys.
Thank you
Thanks.
so much. O'Shea?
Yeah, and Outer Brian, once he wakes you up, he has no intentions on what he can do to help you. He will be in the same position as these
That's
Ugandan
his
pastors that he criticizes.
That's his
There'll
view.
be no organizations or anything that will benefit you in anything that you do. You will still just be in a complete state of anarchy.
Coming from him, not
Right?
me.
And he cannot explain oxygen or wind. But anyways, he's my brother. He thought he was going to come here and just, basically own us. But, that we had to give him some little intellectual work here today, But he's great, though. Vote in the comments if you want to see Outer Brian full-time on the Repat podcast.
Exactly.
Let's see what you guys think.
Yeah, let us know. And you can follow us on all our social media platforms at Kenganda Nation. Also, if you have any links or anything you'd like for us to share with us, you can email us at teamkenganda@gmail.com. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Pan-African Dating Show. We'll see you guys next time.